you. We're going on a live broadcasting as Egypt is launching its first inaugural International Cooperation and Development Financing Forum on Wednesday, which is called the Egypt International Cooperation Forum, engaging for impact with the attendance of major international and regional institutions. Under the auspices and patronage of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the ICF is being held by Ministry of International Cooperation, with Minister of International Cooperation Dr. Rania al-Mashat highlighting it as a reflection of the country's leading role in international cooperation amid global and regional stakeholders. The two-day forum aims to bring together the global community to streamline efforts to ensure better tomorrow and also to identify the parameters of sustainable recovery. Dr. al-Mashat said that the forum underscores the importance of harnessing opportunities and deepening partnerships in order to achieve sustainable development, which opens the door for strengthened dialogue between countries, financing institutions, and development partners. She also added that the forum is highlighting the significance of multilateralism with an emphasis on Egypt's ownership for building back better in transitional and developing economies. The forum, with both physical and virtual audiences, is attended by several economic and social institutions, as well as bilateral and multilateral development partners, including the United Nations, the World Bank Group, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the African Development Bank Group, and the Arab Fund for Economic and Social Development. This is in addition to the presence of African, Asian, and Latin African ministers and policymakers, presidents of international financial institutions, bilateral and multilateral development partners, think tanks, the private sector, and international and regional research centers. Al-Mashat said that the most important feature of the Egypt Forum of International Cooperation and Development Finance is the opportunity for countries and development partners to present and also to discuss their views on partnerships to achieve sustainable development. The Minister of International Cooperation, Dr. Rania al-Mashat, is delivering the inaugural speech of the International Cooperation Forum that is taking place in Egypt on the 8th and the 9th of September 2021. This is Egypt's first inaugural International Cooperation and Development Financing Forum that is titled Egypt International Cooperation Forum, and also engaging for impact with the attendance of major international and regional institutions. Under the patronage of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the ICF is being held by Ministry of International Cooperation, with the Minister of International Cooperation, Dr. Rania al-Mashat, highlighting it as a reflection of the country's leading role in international cooperation amid global and regional stakeholders. The two-day forum aims to bring together the global community to streamline efforts in order to ensure a better tomorrow and also to identify the parameters of sustainable recovery. Dr. al-Mashat said that the forum underscores the importance of harnessing opportunities and deepening partnerships in order to achieve sustainable development, which opens the door for a strengthened dialogue between countries, financing institutions, and development partners. Al-Mashat also added that the forum shall highlight the significance of multilateralism with an emphasis on Egypt's ownership for building back better in transitional and developing economies. The forum, with both physical and virtual audiences, is attended by several economic and social institutions, bilateral and multilateral, including the United Nations, the World Bank Group, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the African Development Bank Group, and the Arab Fund for Economic and Social Development. This is in addition to the presence of African, Asian, and Latin African ministers and policymakers, presidents of international financial institutions, bilateral and multilateral development partners, the private sector, and also the international and regional research centers. Dr. Al-Mashat said that the most important feature of the Egypt Forum for International Cooperation and Development Finance is the opportunity for countries and development partners to present and also to discuss their views on partnerships to achieve sustainable development. We have the pleasure to have with us Dr. Naveen Nakhla, doctorate in business administration, entrepreneur and mentor. Dr. Nakhla, now we can see on screen the the inaugural session, and Dr. Rania Al-Mashat.
Very impressive.
Yes,
very important.
This is a two-day forum. How do you see the importance of this forum, which is launched? Egypt is hosting this forum for the first time.
Yes, this is very important and very something very good. Significant, exactly.
Yes. So it's gathering a number of attendants, a number of also participants from several countries, and also it is gathering representatives from United Nations, from the World Bank Group, from the European Bank for Reconstruction, and also from the African Development Bank.
Yes.
So what's your...
like His Excellency, our beloved President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said, that Egypt now is doing development very integrated in all fields, and with a very big vision for the whole state. To reach the new government and the new era of Egypt. So this is one pillar of the great and many pillars of development and international cooperation.
Yes. What can we expect from this forum that is hosted by Egypt for the first time? What would you think would be the recommendations or the outcome of this forum?
I'm sure for more international cooperation and more trading and more development for Egypt.
Sustainable, inclusive and resilient future with human rights and human dignity for all. Strong and effective international cooperation and multilateralism are key to accelerate progress towards the SDGs. This can drive innovation supported by sustainable financing at scale. Recent success in developing COVID-19 vaccines at record speed was the result of effective cooperation across a range of stakeholders, supported by innovative financing. International cooperation and multilateralism can deliver timely solutions to the most pressing challenges, but much more needs to be done. Achieving the SDGs will require transferring and sharing knowledge and experiences between countries and across borders. The ICF is an important platform to explore the potential of all development stakeholders in addressing development challenges and sharing catalytic solutions, especially in the African context. Our United Nations country teams around the world stand ready to support you in adapting these solutions and engaging with all relevant stakeholders. I congratulate the government of Egypt for its leadership in convening this important forum with the participation of all stakeholders to work jointly on building a strong recovery from the pandemic and accelerating progress on the SDGs. I wish the forum all success, and I thank His Excellency President al-Sisi for his leadership. Thank you.
بالتأكيد نشكر السيدة أمينة على كلمتها الملهمة وإلى مزيد من التعاون المثمر والنتائج الإيجابية على صعيد التنمية المستدامة. الحضور الكريم، ما زلنا نتابع الكلمات الافتتاحية الرئيسية في المنتدى، حيث يشاركنا الآن السيدة جوتا أوربلينين مفوضة الاتحاد الأوروبي للشراكات الدولية افتراضياً أيضاً.
On behalf of the EU, I want to commend you for convening this first edition of the Egypt International Cooperation Forum. And I want to personally thank Egypt for our broad and deep cooperation. The COVID-19 pandemic has claimed almost 4.5 million lives around the globe. It has, like an X-ray, exposed our strengths and weaknesses, from social and economic inequality to environmental and biodiversity crisis. Such global shocks must be tackled
مثل هذه الصدمات العالمية ينبغي التغلب عليها على صعيد عالمي. اليوم العالم لديه فرصة لإعادة ابتكار نفسه، لإعادة البناء على نحو أفضل. لا، الأمم المتحدة أو الاتحاد الأوروبي لا يزال مقتنعا بأن الطريقة الأمثل للقيام بذلك هو على أساس التعاون الدولي مع وجود الأمم المتحدة في جوهر هذا التعاون. إن أهداف التنمية المستدامة توفر الخطة الأساسية لوجود تعاون وعالم أكثر أمانا، وبالتالي فإن الأطراف المتعددة لهذا التعاون هي الأساس لخلقه. معا يمكن أن نجعل انتقالا جيدا من أجل تحقيق النمو المتنامي للشباب والنساء، ويمكن لنا أن نعزز الحوكمة للشركات بشكل سالم. أنا أتطوق إلى التعاون المستمر في بيننا في سياق نهج أفريقيا برمتها، وللاتفاق على الأولويات ذات الصدارة من أجل تحقيق استراتيجية أفريقيا. على الصعيد الشخصي، أثناء اجتماعاتي مع القادة الأفارقة والشباب والمواطنين صدمتني حماس
it as a reflection of the country's leading role in international cooperation amid global and regional stakeholders. The two-day forum aims to bring together the global community to streamline efforts in order to ensure a better tomorrow and also to identify the parameters of sustainable recovery. Dr. Al-Mashat said that the forum underscores the importance of harnessing opportunities and deepening partnerships in order to achieve sustainable development, which opens the door for a strengthened dialogue between countries, financing institutions, and development partners. She added or emphasized on Egypt's ownership for building back better in transitional and developing economies. The forum, with both physical and virtual audiences, is attended by several economic and social institutions as well as bilateral and multilateral development partners, including representatives from United Nations, the World Bank Group, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the African Development Bank Group, and also the Arab Fund for Economic and Social Development. This is in addition to the presence of African, Asian, and Latin American ministers and policy makers, presidents of international financial institutions, bilateral, multilateral development partners, the private sector, and international and regional research centers. Dr. Al-Mashat said that the most important feature of the Egypt Forum for International Cooperation and Development Finance is the opportunity for countries and development partners to present, also to discuss their views on partnership to achieve sustainable development. This is a live broadcasting from the Egypt Forum for International Cooperation and Development Finance. The forum Dr. Nakhla, as we've just said concerning this forum, the Egypt Forum for International Cooperation and Development Finance, so I was just asking you that concerning the gathering of the representatives from the United Nations, representatives from the World Bank Group and the European Bank for Reconstruction, also the African Bank and the Arab Fund for Economic, how do you see the importance of the participations of these important participants or representatives?
It's very important that everyone is coming together in one forum. Even if as you see, some are virtual and some are already in Egypt.
In the whole.
Like the African and the Asian, Latin African presence. It's very important for the discussions in the forum.
Yes.
To discuss the future of sustainable development and the cooperation, the international cooperation of the whole area, and the place of Egypt in the area, and the positioning of Egypt in the area, and especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is a very important, and it's the first forum.
Yes.
To take place like this with this great attendees, and I'm sure that by tomorrow, the end of the forum, we will have very important and very specific things will come out.
Yes, the outcome
exactly. The outcome
from the forum.
From the forum.
Yes, yes. So, Dr. Nakhla, also, we have seen that the inaugural session, Dr. Rania Al-Mashat, the Minister of International Cooperation, delivered a speech, and she spoke about several points. She said that the forum is a reflection of the country's leading role in international cooperation amid global and regional stakeholders. So the importance that Egypt hosts such a forum. How do you see the importance of this?
As we were saying at the beginning, the whole picture and the big picture of and the big vision of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, that all the government, all the states are working to achieve it. Part of it is the international cooperation.
Yes.
And as you saw yesterday, His Excellency was opening the Alexandria Harbor.
Yes, yes.
And this is a key message.
Yes, very important,
very
of course.
Important.
Yes.
And as you were saying at the beginning, the most important thing was that His Excellency was sending a message to Egyptians and to the world that Egyptians are building
with their hands.
With their hands.
Yes.
And building with their investments.
Yes.
And building with their engineers and with their brains.
This is a very important message that, of course,
yes.
the President was saying.
And you can see it conveying today in the forum.
Yes.
That Egypt is playing a great role and the leading role in the area.
Yes.
Also, as he mentioned yesterday during the visit to the Alex Harbor, he said by building our things with our hands and our investment,
yes,
we are achieving many things. one of them is cost reduction. When you, in old days, you used to invite investors to invest and to operate Egyptian projects. Nowadays, it's not the case. He is calling onto the Egyptian mentality and the brains and the hands and the investment of Egypt. And this will definitely reduce costs of bringing in foreign investors to operate and to build. The second thing, when His Excellency says that we're going to build it in 2 years, so any obstacle or any challenge, we are facing our challenges in our hands, so it is resolved right away. For example, he was giving an example yesterday about the houses and the population behind the harbor that will be removed for security issues, and they will be removed in a very good and very established place. Also, he mentioned that not only the cost and the time, also the job creation. And His Excellency was very clear about when we do our own things and we build and develop our own things, we create more job creation for our growing population. And he mentioned that now so many alliances, international alliances, are putting their bids and putting their offers to operate the harbor and to operate the ports in partnership with Egypt. And by 95% of employees, Egyptian employees and Egyptian engineers, and after 15 years, it will automatically be 100% operated by Egyptians. So people now are trying their best to come and partner in what we already built and what Egypt built.
Yes. So, Dr. Nakhla, now Egypt is hosting this forum, and Egypt is, for years now, is a stable country. We see, as you've just said, the great projects and achievements since President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi came to office. How do you see the timing of this forum and all the attendees?
Opportunity to join you today.
شكرا للسيد جفري على مشاركتنا حدث اليوم بالحضور الفعلي، ونتمنى أن تسفر الجلسات الحوارية وورش العمل عن العديد من التوصيات المثمرة. وختاما للكلمات الافتتاحية، أرحب الآن بالسيد الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس جمهورية مصر العربية، والذي سيلقي كلمته على السادة الحاضرين افتراضيا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السيدات والسادة الوزراء، رؤساء المنظمات الدولية والإقليمية ومسؤولو الأمم المتحدة، على الحضور الكريم. في البداية يطيب لي أن أرحب بضيوفنا الكرام في منتدى مصر للتعاون الدولي والتمويل الإنمائي في نسخته الأولى، متمنيا لكم مؤتمرا مثمرا يسهم في دعم جهود المجتمع الدولي لتحقيق التنمية المستدامة. السيدات والسادة، إن البشرية في وقتنا الحالي تمر باختبار هو الأصعب منذ زمن، حيث تواجه عدة تحديات تتمثل في تداعيات جائحة كورونا والآثار السلبية للتغيرات المناخية، هو ما يفرض علينا واقعا جديدا يتطلب أفكارا وصيغا أكثر ابتكارا في صنع القرار، ووعيا أكثر بالمخاطر المحتملة، ونهجا متوازنا يقوم على العمل المشترك لتحقيق التقدم والتنمية الاقتصادية والمستدامة الخضراء لتلبية تطلعات شعوب العالم. ولقد أضحى التعافي الأخضر ضرورة ملحة على رأس قائمة أولويات حكومات العالم في المرحلة الراهنة. وهنا يجب ألا نغفل الأوضاع الاقتصادية والاجتماعية المتباينة للدول الناشئة والنامية، والتي تأثرت بشدة من جراء جائحة كورونا، الأمر الذي قد يعيق من قدرتها على اللحاق بركب التعافي الأخضر، وهو ما يتطلب مساندة المجتمع الدولي ومؤسسات التمويل الدولية لتحقيق الأهداف المنشودة لتلك الأجندة الطموحة. ومما لا شك فيه أن الحكومات بمفردها لن تستطيع تحقيق هذا التعافي، لذا يبرز الدور المحوري للقطاع الخاص للمضي قدما نحو مستقبل مستدام من خلال الآليات المبتكرة لتعبئة الموارد والتمويل المختلط لتعزيز مشاركته في مختلف مجالات التنمية، جنبا إلى جنب مع التوظيف الجيد للتكنولوجيا والتحول الرقمي لتحقيق التنمية الاقتصادية والاجتماعية المنشودة للعالم أجمع. السيدات والسادة، لقد كانت مصر من أوائل الدول التي وضعت خطة استراتيجية طويلة المدى لتحقيق التنمية المستدامة 2030 استنادا إلى الأولويات والمبادئ الوطنية بهدف تحقيق التنمية المستدامة والشاملة، أخذا في الاعتبار البعد البيئي كمحور أساسي في القطاعات التنموية كافة للتغلب على آثار تغيرات المناخ والحفاظ على الموارد الطبيعية والتحول نحو النمو الشامل والمستدام بما يضمن حقوق الأجيال القادمة. وتتسق أهداف رؤيتنا التنموية لعام 2030 مع أجندة التنمية المستدامة للأمم المتحدة 2030 وأجندة إفريقيا 2063 لتعظم من قيم العمل المشترك والتعاون متعدد الأطراف لدعم جهود التنمية في الدول المختلفة. وفي هذا الصدد فإننا نؤكد على أهمية تحقيق التكامل الإفريقي من خلال تفعيل الآليات التنفيذية لاتفاقية التجارة الحرة الإفريقية، والتي تعد محورا مهما من محاور النقاش في هذا المنتدى، حيث تمثل تلك الاتفاقية دافعا قويا للمضي قدما نحو تعزيز الاندماج والتكامل بين دول القارة، والتي تمتلك فرصا هائلة لتطلع بدور محوري في مستقبل الاقتصاد العالمي. الحضور الكريم، لقد قطعت مصر عهدا على نفسها بالمضي قدما نحو تحقيق التنمية جنبا إلى جنب مع مواجهة التحديات والمشكلات المتراكمة، ونجحنا خلال السنوات الأخيرة في دفع جهود التنمية في العديد من القطاعات من خلال مشروعات البنية التحتية الكبرى وبرامج الحماية الاجتماعية وزيادة الاستثمار في رأس المال البشري واتخاذ خطوات فعالة نحو التحول للاقتصاد الأخضر للارتقاء بحياة المواطن المصري وتحسين مستوى معيشته وتلبية تطلعاته نحو غد ومستقبل واعد، وهو ما أشارت به العديد من تقارير المؤسسات الدولية. ومن هذا المنطلق فإن مصر ترحب بالتعاون الوثيق مع مؤسسات التمويل الدولية والأمم المتحدة ووكالاتها التابعة لتعزيز جهود التنمية وتوفير الخبرات اللازمة لأشقائنا في منطقتي الشرق الأوسط وإفريقيا، لنأخذ بأيدي بعضنا البعض نحو تحقيق أجندة التنمية المستدامة 2030 ودعم الرؤية الإفريقية القارية 2063 وإنجاز ما أقره العالم في اتفاق باريس للمناخ. وختاما، أتمنى لكم التوفيق في أعمال هذا المنتدى وكل ثقة في أن تخرج المناقشات بتوصيات تدعم الجهود الهادفة لتعزيز التعاون الدولي متعدد الأطراف والتمويل الإنمائي من خلال المؤسسات الدولية وجهود بناء القدرات والدعم الفني عن طريق الأمم المتحدة لنحقق طموحات شعوبنا ومتطلباتهم نحو مستقبل أفضل. شكرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السادة الحضور، بكلمة فخامة الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس جمهورية مصر العربية نكون قد انتهينا من الكلمات الافتتاحية، وبعد قليل سنبدأ مع حضراتكم الجلسات الحوارية لهذا.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi delivered a speech before the International Cooperation Forum that is held in Egypt for the first time. The President said that he hopes that this would be a fruitful forum and wished that the recommendations would meet the needs of citizens not only in Egypt but in other countries. The President said that the world is facing challenges, several challenges actually, like the coronavirus and climate change. He called for the cooperation with all the countries around that would meet the needs of citizens around the world. He also said that he wished to move to a future of sustainable development. The President also said that Egypt was one of the first and also leading countries in the region which implemented the plan of sustainable development of the year 2030 and also the year 2060. President Sisi also said that Egypt is boosting investment and also launching projects and initiatives in order to raise the standard of living of Egyptian citizens. The President also said that he hopes that the recommendations of the forum would meet the needs of the citizens. That was the word that the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi delivered before the forum, the International Cooperation Forum that is held in Egypt for the first time, in which the President have highlighted several points. Among them is the challenges that are facing the world, as the challenge of the coronavirus and also the challenge of the climate change. The President also have briefed the attendees on what the steps that Egypt have taken in launching initiatives and projects that would meet the needs of the Egyptian citizen. And he also called on the cooperation between Egypt and several parties like the United Nations and the World Bank, and he welcomed this cooperation that is going to take place and already taking place. He hoped that this forum would be a fruitful one. The President also hoped that the recommendations of that is going to be coming out of this forum is going to meet the needs of the citizens and would help in the cooperation between several countries to boost more cooperation in many fields like investment and other fields. The President also said that, or described that Egypt is going for a plan or establishing a plan for the sustainable development for the year 2030 and the year 2060.